Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Random Guy on YouTube. Today I will be talking about Photronics Incorporated. Photronics is a small cap company with a capitalization of $978 million and trades under the ticker symbol PLAB on Nasdaq Stock Exchange. Photronics Incorporated is an American semiconductor photomask manufacturer. Photomasks are used in photolithography for production of integrated circuits and flat panel displays. Photronics earns majority of its revenue in the integrated circuit mask segment. They further differentiate the masks as mainstream, which earned $109 million of revenue in Q1 2023, and high-end products which earned $48 million. The other segment, photomasks for flat panel display manufacturing, is also divided into two parts. High-end masks earned $46 million and mainstream $9 million in the latest quarter. Here is the visualization of the revenue growth by segments in the last 5 years. Thanks to the product diversity, the growth is relatively steady. The photomask manufacturing industry is also much less cyclical than chip manufacturing because the demand for new masks is driven by number of new chip designs and not by number of chips sold. We've seen the revenue by product charts, but Photronics also publishes revenue by country. Majority of the revenue is earned in Asian countries, Taiwan, China, Korea. There are also some sales in the US and Europe, and the company sees a growing demand from these areas as well. In the last 6 years, the revenue grew by compounded annual rate of 11.6%. Based on historical trends of different market segments and in different regions, this is my projection for future growth. $210 million in Q2 of 2023 and $879 million for the full year. There is a global economic uncertainty, some China restrictions, so I decided to be quite conservative with my projections. Company guidance for the second quarter of 2023 is between $205 and $215 million. Here we have operating and gross margins. I think it is inherent for this industry to benefit from the scale of operations. Margins continue to expand over the long term. Company guidance for Q2 operating margin is 25 to 28%. The earnings grew very nicely over the years as well, but we've seen a sharp drop in the latest quarter. This was caused by foreign exchange expenses. I'm not a big fan of non-GAAP earnings, but I think here it is warranted. Forex gains and expenses should average out over the long term. You can compare GAAP earnings in blue and non-GAAP earnings in orange. No one can exactly predict in which quarters it will have a positive effect and in which negative. Here are my projections for future non-GAAP earnings. 0.44 in EPS in Q2. The management guides for $38 to $48 per share in non-GAAP EPS. Since the top in the middle of 2022, the share price dropped by 39%. Price to earnings ratio is about 8.7, and the company did not trade so low in the recent history. Price to sales ratio is at 1.13, and here are the tranches where the ratio actually dropped below that value. I'd say all of these were excellent buying opportunities. The company has $260 million of debt in total liabilities. That is actually much less than current cash on hand, and the balance sheet is in a great condition. Here is my investment thesis. The sales growth has been relatively stable over the years at CAGR of almost 12%. Future growth will depend on economic recovery in China and future expansions of European and US markets. Photronics is in a growing industry, essential for chip manufacturing. However, the photomask manufacturing is significantly less cyclical. The company is consistently very profitable and trades under the PE of 9. My projections lead to forward PE of 8 in 2023. Price to sales ratio is at 1.1, which always proved to be a great buying opportunity in recent history of the company. Photronics has a very good balance sheet with lots of cash on hand. Here is the full table of my portfolio buys. Pause here if you want to inspect it more closely. My portfolio is again in the lead ahead of indices. So far it gained $104. Nasdaq Composite Fund with weekly buys gained $87, S&P 500 gained $55, and Russell 2000 negative $46 in the same time period. To my virtual portfolio, I am adding $100 worth of shares of PLab at the latest closing price of $15.65. I also add 100 virtual dollars to each of the benchmarks and continue tracking them. For anyone who's still here is a chart of change in price of an average purchase after X number of weeks. My average stock is 5% up after just 1 week, but this is not a trading channel. I am just a random guy on YouTube and not a financial advisor, and none of this is a financial advice. Please be careful and do your own research when you invest your money. Finally, I would like to disclose that I do own shares of PLab in my stock portfolio. Thank you for watching and see you next week.